It began with a quiet house, a locked door, and a horrifying silence that greeted police one spring morning in Idaho. Inside, they would find a nightmare that would haunt a nation. What should have been just another calm Monday became the opening chapter of one of the most disturbing crimes in modern American history. And at the heart of it all were two missing children. Welcome to the Crime Documentary. On May 16, 2005, in a quiet lakeside neighborhood, officers arrived at a home nestled along the banks of Lake Coeur d'Alene. The call was routine, a welfare check. What they found wasn't. Inside, police discovered the lifeless bodies of 40-year-old Brenda Groene, her 13-year-old son Slade, and Brenda's boyfriend, Mark McKenzie. They'd been tied up, bludgeoned, murdered with unimaginable force. But there was something even more disturbing. Two children, 8-year-old Shasta and 9-year-old Dylan Groene, were missing. It looked like a textbook abduction. Brutal, quick, and meticulously planned. Whoever did this had disappeared into the night with two children and left behind a massacre. But the truth was even darker. For the next 47 days, the nation watched and waited. FBI teams combed forests and lakes. Helicopters circled overhead. Volunteers searched rural roads. And then, something impossible happened. A little girl walked into Denny's with a scruffy man by her side. I'm sitting down here at Denny's, and there's a little girl that looks exactly like the one that's missing. She's with an older man. I showed her a picture to the waitress. She said, "Oh my God, that's her." It was Shasta Groene, and against all odds, she was alive. The man with her? Joseph Edward Duncan, a registered offender. A man with a past soaked in red flags, and a mind filled with horrors. Shasta's rescue was a miracle, but her brother, Dylan, was still missing. And what she told police next would make seasoned investigators weep. To understand how Joseph Edward Duncan ended up in that Denny's with a kidnapped girl, we have to go back, way back, to a boy whose mind turned violent before anyone could stop it. Born February 25, 1963 in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Duncan was the fourth of 5 children in a military family. His father's service meant constant relocation. No roots, no stability. By the time the family finally settled in Tacoma, Washington, Duncan was already showing signs of disturbing behavior. He claimed abuse at home. Emotional, physical, sexual. Allegations still debated today. But one thing is certain, Duncan wasn't just a troubled kid. He was becoming something far worse. At just 15, Duncan kidnapped a 9-year-old boy at gunpoint. And it didn't stop there. The system had its chances, but it failed, and every time it failed, Duncan got worse. May 15, 2005. Duncan had been watching the Groene family for days, and that night he made his move. He broke in, tied up Brenda, Mark, and 13-year-old Slade. Then he led 8-year-old Shasta and 9-year-old Dylan outside. Shasta remembered holding her brother's hand, hearing the thuds, the screaming, then watching her brother stumble out of the house, bleeding. But Duncan wasn't done. He finished the job inside, 3 dead, 2 kidnapped. The monster had begun his final act. Over the next 47 days, Duncan took the kids deep into the wilderness. 2 campsites. No help, no escape. He tortured them, assaulted them, told Shasta what he had done. He was proud. Then came the worst moment. Dylan was shot in the stomach. Shasta heard the bang, found her brother, still alive, begging. Then Duncan picked up the shotgun and pulled the trigger. He told Shasta it was mercy, but he had just taken her last protector. she was alone. After Shasta's rescue, the truth unraveled. Joseph Edward Duncan III was charged in Idaho, federally, and eventually connected to murders across multiple states. He pled guilty to state and federal charges, received multiple life sentences and 3 federal death sentences. He even tried to represent himself, but no courtroom drama could undo what he'd done. This wasn't justice, but it was something. In 2020, while on death row in Terre Haute, Indiana, Joseph Edward Duncan was diagnosed with brain cancer. He refused treatment, and by March 2021, he was dead. Shasta Groene survived. She grew up, spoke out, and became a symbol of strength. The evil is gone, but the question remains: how many more monsters are still out there, waiting? Like and subscribe for more real crime stories, turn on notifications, because the next case might be even darker.